So till now we have studied how to charge a body, and that is by friction. You rub glass rod against silk. Glass rod has less affinity for its electron. It will lose electron, and silk has more affinity for its electron. It will gain electrons, and that is charging by friction. But at the same way, we can have charging by conduction. You bring a charged body and connect to an uncharged body, and then the charge would flow from charged body to uncharged body. That is charging by conduction. And there is another method of charging, that is charging by induction. You just bring a charged body near to an insulator or conductor, and then the conductor will get charged just by bringing it near to the charged body. That is charging without touching, and that is charging by induction. So let's talk about all these three methods of charging. And first, which you already know, is charging by friction. So that we know that when glass rod or when one body is rubbed against another body, maybe silk over it, then during rubbing, some of the electrons, they transfer from glass rod to the silk. So the glass rod will become positively charged and the silk will become negatively charged, equally negatively charged. It is because the glass rod has got less affinity for the outermost electrons, and silk has more affinity for its outermost electron. So the glass rod tend to lose some of its electron and the silk tend to gain those electrons. And that's how one will get a positive charge, say plus Ne, the other will get a negative charge, say minus Ne, but the total charge remain conserved of this combination. So this is charging by friction that you have already studied. Second is charging by conduction. Now it is about that when a charged body is brought in touch with another conductor which is uncharged, and the two bodies are of same size. So particularly we are talking of bodies of same size and conductors. So this is a special condition. Bodies should be of the same size and conductors. Now first take a conductor, say it has a charge Q1. You take another conductor, I'll take first case, another conductor, it has a charge Q2. And what we do, we connect them through a wire or we bring them in touch, direct touch with each other. In that case, both will have a redistribution of charge such that the net charge is Q1 plus Q2 by 2. So there will be equal charge distribution, but there is a condition. The condition is that the two charged bodies should be of the same size. I take another case where first one is having a charge, say Q1, and another one is having a charge, say minus Q2, and the two are connected by a wire. Here again, the net charge on both afterward will be Q1 dash or say Q2 dash, and Q1 dash or Q2 dash will have a value Q1 plus minus Q2 divided by 2. There will be equal distribution of charge once again. We will obtain equal distribution of charge once again. Net charge is, charge is scalar quantity, it is additive in nature. So net charge will be Q1 plus minus Q2 by 2. The equal distributed charge on both will be Q1 plus minus Q2 by 2. This is only possible when they have same size and both are conductors. So this is charging by conduction. It is all because of flow of electrons. So in conductors, it is the flow of electron that makes the charge to move from one to another. It is never a proton movement, it is always electron movement that make a body charged or flow of charge. In case if they have unequal size, you may be thinking, what if they have unequal size? It may have a charge Q1, it may have a charge Q2, and then they are connected by a wire. In case if they have unequal size, then the charge Q1 dash or Q2 dash would be to the extent so that they have finally same potential on both. Now this concept of potential we'll talk later. Here it is mentioned, if the two bodies are not identical in size, then charge flows from one body to another until both the bodies acquire the same potential. So till now, at least for the beginning sake, we should keep in mind that if the two charged bodies both are conductors, maybe one charged and one uncharged, maybe they are oppositely charged, if they are brought in touch, then charge flow from one to another until the charge is same on both. It is only in case if they are of the same size. Now another thing, another concept of charging is charging by induction or charging without touching. It is charging without touching. Now here what we can do is, just imagine, here I'll divide this charging by induction in two parts. One is charging by induction in insulators and second is charging by induction in conductors. So let me first talk about in conductors. This charging by induction as a whole, if you will say, as though you have maybe a conductor, and then what you do, you bring a charged body near to it, and as a result what we observe is that this side, which is over here, become negatively charged. Earlier it was neutral, but as we brought it close to it, this side which is near to it become negatively charged, and this side which is farther from it become positively charged. It happens in both insulators as well as conductors. But there is a different phenomena through which this negative and positive charge induction take place in conductors or in insulators. So let's try to understand that phenomena, how it is different in conductors or in insulators, and what is the reason behind all this charging at once without touching. So first I am talking of conductors. In fact, if you look at any conductor, conductor mean that metal, that material which has lost at least one electron per atom. So on an average, it is considered that in a conductor, the outermost electron are having so much energy by themselves that on an average per atom, one electron is free. So in a conductor, it is like you are having Pe and minus Pe as total number of electrons revolving, and now one of those electrons goes out. So the net charge in a conductor, we can say there is one ion and one electron. That means we are talking of an atom which was having, say, Pe and some neutron in the nucleus, and it was having P number of electrons revolving around it. But one of those electrons, due to its extra energy, maybe due to thermal energy or maybe whatever reason, it has left. So with those P electrons, it was all neutral, but when one electron is left, it is left over as ion which has a charge plus E, and that free electron I am showing here. So in a conductor, on an average, we can say that all atoms of conductor have lost one electron. So there are atoms all over in the conductor, and at the same time there are free electrons. These atoms are in fact at their place, they are fixed, but they are not neutral, they are positive ions. And at the same time you have got free electrons, and the number of electron, it can be, say, 10 to the power 29 per meter cube. It's a huge number, tremendously huge number, but on an average we can say one electron per atom is free, and these electrons are free to move in the conductor anywhere. Now what happens once you bring a positively charged rod near to it, the result would be, what will happen to this arrangement is that these electrons, which are free to move, they will be all attracted towards this positive charge. So, there will be shifting of electrons. Every electron will shift from their place closer. So, there will be shifting of electron and there will be more accumulation of electron on this side, and there will be almost, if I say the positive ions are not going to move, they will remain there only, but there will be a net shifting of electrons towards left. So, as a result, what I can say is, if earlier the whole conductor was neutral everywhere, number of electrons and positive ions were same, so whole conductor was neutral, but now if you can see, there is a net negative charge on this side because of extra number of electrons that have reached here, and there will be a net positive charge on this side because of the reason that only positive ions are left over here. But wherever if I talk about in between, there are positive ions all over, but at the same time there are electrons. So over here in the central region, it still remain neutral almost, but in the closer region you will find that it is now, in the closer region you will find that it is now a net negative charge, and in the farther region there is a net positive charge. So this is charging by induction in conductors. It is because of the net shift of electrons towards its side, it will become negative, and because of the net, loss of electrons on the farther side due to these positive ions, it will have a positive charge. So you can understand why, by bringing this positively charged rod just near to a conductor, this side will get negative, because there is a net gain of electrons on this side and there is a net loss of electrons on this side, so it will gain that positive charge. This is charging by induction in conductors.